You know, in America, black people are a lot of times in danger. Now, they say that one of the greatest threats to black men would be the police. And to black women, one of the greatest threats would be the hospital. Case in point, I want you to look what happens to this black woman out of Chicago when she goes to the hospital to have her baby because she's having contractions 1 minute apart. Look at the egregious behavior of this hospital.
This morning, a Chicago woman is demanding answers from a hospital she says discharged her while she was in labor. 38-year-old Mercedes Wells says she was having contractions 1 minute apart and knew the baby was coming, but a nurse sent her home.
I was in excruciating pain. She seen me in pain and agony, and I guess she still perceived me to not be in labor.
The family sharing this video of Wells being wheeled out of the hospital. She then gave birth 8 minutes later in her truck on the side of the highway, her husband delivering their baby himself.
It's totally God's grace. I was scared. I didn't know what to do. I don't have any medical license or anything to deliver a baby.
Wells says she spent 6 hours at the hospital but never saw a doctor. She blames racial discrimination.
I was stripped of my dignity as a person because I was treated less than an animal.
Can we agree that a woman in active labor should not be sent away while first being seen by a doctor?
The CEO of Franciscan Health Crown Point Hospital responding, saying the video and the comments it has generated are deeply troubling, and we understand the concern this is raised. The video is just one part of the information we are reviewing as part of a thorough investigation into this alleged incident. The good news, the couple says their baby daughter, Alina, is healthy and doing well.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. As you heard, this sister was 1 minute apart and they still sent her home. Now, anybody who have half a brain would say, no, this woman's about to have a baby. We need to see what's going on with her, get her comfortable, call her doctor, and see if they can hurry up and get up here to deliver this baby. You understand? Another thing that happens to black women, they give them a lot of unnecessary C-sections. They don't need to give black women. Why? So they can charge more money. See, the hospital system, the healthcare system in itself in America is anything that's private, it's all about profits. That's why if you nationalize the healthcare, nationalize all the hospitals, and it's subsidized by the government, and the private sector don't have to worry about profits because, hey, the government going to pay us. We're not worried about it, right? That'll be a whole lot better because we've been needing a national health care anyway. This is the reason why a lot of black women are passing away. It's things like this. You remember the other story there where I think out in the Dallas area, I'm not mistaken, but that sister was in pain and the woman's worried about filling out paperwork, something that easily can be done. And she don't care how that sister was in pain. This brother had to deliver his child himself in the car. He's not medically trained to deliver any babies. But yet that's what he had to do. And shout out to that brother. That's an experience to tell your child. And the baby's beautiful. The baby is so beautiful. But this is why we need more black nurses. And this is why we need to have them ASAP. We got enough of, we don't need no more female rappers. We need black woman nurses. We got to have that. Because you know good and well, if there was a black woman up there, that wouldn't happen. We see so many horror stories where Becky and them nurses attached to it. They go in there with their racism because they still think that black people can take more pain than anybody else. Oh, she's all right. She can take the pain. A lot of these people are racist, and they should not be nowhere near us in healthcare. That's why it's dangerous for black people in general. Certain hospitals you better not go to, and most black people are like, don't go to that hospital. Please don't take me to this hospital. It should never be that way. It should be, if you need your health care in the United States, you can go to any hospital and you'll be treated right. But see, our federal government don't care. Because, you know, good and well, if federal regulators was constantly going in there and listen, you know how we have the CFPB, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau? We need the same thing for the health care and hospitals. That you can make a complaint to the federal government about doctors, nurses, and hospitals. and they got to go investigate it. I promise you, if they start investigating these hospitals, popping up on them and all of that and doing all the kind of checks, and hey, if they did something criminal, then people get charged. If they did something civil or whatever, they have to pay fines. But if they start going through these hospitals and checking them, make sure they're up to compliance with the feds and the state, they would not be doing this. You wouldn't have no quote unquote bad hospitals. And the ones that's bad need to be shut down. And another one need to come in this place that's going to do the right thing. But there's so many stories over the years I've covered where they had a black woman one time was having a flare up with her sickle cell. She was in pain. She needed medication. And they didn't want to give it to her. They downright mean and evil. Who would do that? I can give you medication for your pain. I'm going to give it to you. I'm not going to have you sit there. Why? First of all, I'm not going to be listening to you scream when I know I can give you something for comfort. Like, why would I do that? But these people within their sick hearts, they love to see black people in pain. They get off to it. They love it. This is why they always want to call us the N-word and see us crash out. They get off to seeing us some sort of emotional pain or physical pain. Only those who have something that's not in them of this world could enjoy the pain of black people or the pain of anybody. That's not normal. That's not godly or anything. You feel me? Black people, we really have to be careful. Make sure you know what hospital you're going to. Make sure it's a good, listen, you got to just do what you got to do. Because it's ridiculous. It is utterly ridiculous what happens to a lot of black women die trying to have children because of incidents like that. They die. Or unnecessary C-sections and a complication happen and they die. But when white women go to the same hospital, listen, it's one thing if that hospital was doing that to everybody. That's one thing. But a white woman go to the same hospital and get top care, no problem. And a black woman go to the same hospital and it's a black woman, whatever. That's why you need federal regulations. That's why you need federal laws to clamp down on that. Nobody, when they come to the hospital, it's not about nobody's race or gender or sexual orientation or religion. It's not about any of that. It's about making sure that person that came through that door leave out how they came in much better. When they come in here, they may feel one way. When they leave out, they're going to feel so much better. That is the thing. We don't want people coming in here and not going back home. But that's actually when you actually care about people. These people's racism, if you read Neely Fuller, he'll say that every area activity the white supremacists control, and that's include medical. That's why us as black people, we got to try our best to stay healthy and stay out their system. But I understand we have children. That's normal. This is a married couple. No woman should be treated that way, and the black woman constantly being treated this way. See, as black people, we talking about reparations and anti-black hate crime bill, but we need some protections in the hospital too. We can wrap it into whatever how you want to wrap it into, inform it the way you want to form it, but we need that. Not giving us pain meds when we need it, send us home when we should be staying. That should be criminal to do that to anybody. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this particular story. Black women, definitely black women have to be loud about it. Instead of Jasmine Crockett running around doing the stupidity she's doing, why don't she run around advocating for black women? Where's Jasmine Crockett since she likes to talk? Why don't she go to Chicago and raise hell in Chicago on those Democrats over there about that black woman? That's when you have a real congressional black caucus. All this stuff happened to black women and the congressional black caucus don't say nothing about it. Nothing. Why do y'all even have a caucus for if you're not going to say nothing about what happens to black men and women in this country? That's why I'm all for that congressional black caucus being busted up. Because they all Stephen from the plantation on Django. All of them. They're there to maintain the plantation and maintain the status quo. And any black person that comes to disrupt that, That how Stephen was against Django, how he couldn't stand Django. He hated Django. That's how they are against the rest of us in Black America. It's a sin and a shame. A Congressional Black Caucus that don't advocate for black people. And that's why we got to call these people out and get these people out of office. If you're not going to advocate for black people, what are you there for? You need to go so another black person come in and going to actually advocate for our people.